Pastor Roy Gearhart from Galloway United Methodist Church in Franklin, Pennsylvania, sharing a few words of encouragement to help us follow after Jesus. Some days it's really nice to just kind of kick back and look out the window, isn't it? You kind of look out on the world without feeling all of its pressure and the demand to race off into life to get something done. I remember when Janice and I were first married, those first couple of years were like an intense race. There were some mornings between school and work and other things going on in our lives that we would, it seemed like, leave day after day from our home at 6:30 in the morning and not return until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock that night. It was intense at times. But you know what's worse? Worse than just being under the demand to get things done and hurrying from here to there is to live your life in a sense of rivalry, competition that is not necessarily friendly, but is a rivalry where you're competing for attention, competing to see who's best, competing to see who gets to be in charge. Man, that can really drain you. Whether your life is moving at a fast or a slow pace doesn't matter at that point. When you're living your life with that kind of pressure to perform and to compete, it robs you of a great deal of contentment and peace in your life. And worst of all, if you're competing with people that you're supposed to be able to lean on for love and support and to be the people who celebrate when you win and pick you up when you fall down, and in turn, you're likewise to be there for them. But when we live in a rivalry with those people, there's no one there to really be on our team and to really enjoy life together with. The life of Jacob starts to look a lot like that. His two wives are sisters. He was tricked into marrying both of them by their father. His uncle Laban set him up and set the girls up. And this creates a situation where rivalry begins to develop between these sisters. Leah is feeling unloved and unvalued compared to her sister, who was actually the love of Jacob's life, the one that he had fallen head over heels in love with. So now there's a competition, a sense of rivalry, and it grows. When God blessed Leah with children, and she began to give birth to sons, Rachel began to fear that she was going to become unloved, be forgotten. As she saw her husband drawn to those children and excited about their births, she began to wonder if she would be left behind and no longer be the apple of his eye. So she turned to her maid and handed her over to her husband and said, "She will be my surrogate. You can have children from me through her." Well, then Leah begins to fear that she will be once again outdone by Rachel. And so she, in turn, takes her maid and hands her over to Jacob and says, "She will be my surrogate. You have more children for me through her." And so this baby birthing competition takes up between the two sisters, engages their maids, and it goes back and forth, trying to see who's going to have the next child, who's going to have the most children, and who's going to prove themselves the most valuable and be the most loved by their husband Jacob. It's a sad situation, and ultimately it will transfer to the boys that are born. These children are all going to experience rivalry amongst them that was the source of their birth. We'll see it play out in the lives of these boys when we follow the story of Joseph and his coat of many colors. This is a tough way of life. That we can see that this family struggles to be able to find real love and support amongst them because they're so preoccupied in competing with each other. And many families are torn apart this way. And even churches. I mean, after all, the church is to be like a family. We're to be children of God, brothers and sisters to one another. And yet I've seen churches also weighed down by rivalry and competition, where people feel entitled to be in charge and push and shove to try to see who gets to have say-so. And somehow or another, we fail to enjoy the kind of love and mercy that God would have for us, the kind of compassion and support that we're supposed to be there for each other in, and instead it's spent in rivalry. Check yourself in your life. See what you are giving up in order to be the one who wins. And perhaps it's time to step back into that place where we can love and support one another, lift each other up, and encourage each other through all the times, both good and bad. May God bless you today, and as you share this good news, may God make you a blessing wherever He takes you.